I'm Greg Fruit, Sports Chef Guru. Welcome to my show, everybody. We have a lot of NBA and some college basketball to go over, so we want to get right to it. We'll go over some quick recipes here, talk about some supplements, but a big day for college. And as you know, this is the best time of the year to really wager. We have NFL going, college football, NCAA basketball, college football as well, hockey. It's crazy. You can tell my head's still going. So let's start out with the NBA. We'll go to the early games. We have Washington's at home. Most of these teams play each other a couple times a year, whether it's in conference or out of conference. We like to take the dogs in these positions when they come up. So we're going to stay with that theme today. We like Washington Wizards at home, getting 2 points. That doesn't seem like a lot of points. But in the professional level, every point matters, especially at home. We like to stay with our home teams. That's a theme we like to roll with. So when we get these home positions, we like to stay aggressive with them as well. The Spurs are obviously down this year. They're probably not going to the playoffs. Doesn't look like it. They're kind of doing some wholesale changes, finding themselves. The Wizards, of course, struggling. And they probably will. They don't have Wall for the whole season. But again, we're getting points at home, so we're going to try and take advantage of that. We're also going to travel to Miami. We're going to go with the Cavaliers. They have a couple of their players back that have been out. Love and who's the other one, Mark? Thanks, Mark. They're getting 10.5 on the road, and you can buy that up to 11. You need all the points you can get with Cleveland. You know, Cleveland's got a new coach from Michigan in the college level, so they're not that bad. You know, people thought they'd be a lot worse this year. They're hanging around, and they're doing decent this year. So we're gonna take this. We're gonna take Cleveland at Miami. Take the double digits. It's up a little bit to 10.5. Buy it to 11 if you can. We feel that's a reasonable position. They have played 3 out of 4 nights, but again, 2 of their starters are back, and they should be a little healthy. And again, we don't have to win. We have a lot of room there. We're going to go over to Toronto. Of course, Toronto, the champions last year. They have 2 of their starters out, Lowry and Okafor. And the Magic, I'm sorry, Ibaka. Thank you, Mark. The Magic are healthy right now, actually. They have all their players. Again, they met in the playoffs last year. Toronto beat them. They did get a game, I think, or 2, right, Mark, in that series? Yeah, they got game 1, actually. Now they squeezed this number down. It's only 4, but we're going to take it. You know, we'll take what we can get. They do have 2 starters out for Toronto, and as a favorite, hopefully we can take advantage of that. And again, we don't have to win any of these games I just mentioned. Then we like Detroit. They don't have their point guard right now, Mr. Reggie Jackson. But again, I think they're a better team than Chicago. Again, Chicago is a wholesale team. They're just rebuilding right now. Detroit did make the playoffs last year, so they have almost all their players except for Jackson. They should be able to get there. They lost earlier to this team at home, so they need to bounce back. They squeeze this down to 1.5. If you can buy it to 2, great. If you only get 1, buy it to 1.5. Again, that point doesn't seem like a lot, but in the professional levels, it can be a big difference. So again, all these teams I'm sharing with you today, they don't have to win. Just to let you know, I've been doing this for over 2 decades. Every sport, with the exception of soccer and a few others, every year. So when I have a play, that means that position has a financial advantage to it. That means over the long run and even the short one, you're going to make money betting these positions. And again, we're going to stay in the NBA with the 1 more game late. We have the Utah Jazz. And again, these 2 teams just faced off recently. They played their last game against each other. We're not sure if Wiggins is playing tonight. Hopefully he's not. If he's not, obviously that'll be a bigger investment. If you have a phone account like I do, I also bet in the sports books. But you can do it. They have in-game betting. So if you're watching the game, you're not sure who's playing or if you can wait for the game to start. Bet it before it starts just in case for a half or whatever. And then when the game starts, you know, you can also tell by looking at the number In this position, Utah's gone up a half point, money line up a nickel, which isn't a whole lot, but that is an indicator that Wiggins might not be playing tonight. He is their leading scorer this year and probably their best player. So we like that game they just played the other day, and these teams, they remember each other a little bit more when they've played together. I want to talk real quick about what I basically got from lunch. I have a local Sprouts here. Every Wednesday they have $5 sushi day. This isn't $5, but the other sushi they have is. And a good friend of mine is the sushi chef there. So I always go in there on Wednesdays. I usually go in more often than Wednesday. You can also get a lot of good fruits and vegetables there as well. And I usually always get this ginger. This is fresh, more fresh ginger. It's not as fresh as in the produce area, but this is the second best you can get. This goes actually very good with sushi, wasabi, people like that. I can't have that. It's a little hard on my stomach. And if you're allergic to soy when you eat your sushi, I highly recommend this liquid amino. It also makes a good ingredient for making good barbecue sauces. So again, use this liquid amino. I do. You can't even tell the difference, and it's very good for you. All of these recipes I share with you are very healthy for you. And again, when you get to my age, I'm in my 50s now, we've got to start eating better, or we're going to get sicker, and we're going to miss more days of work. And you don't want that. You won't feel as good. You got to feel good. Our motto is simple. We're going to change this world one good meal and one good bed at a time. And let me tell you, folks, you can make all the money in the world, but if you're not healthy, you're not going to be wealthy. You just don't feel wealthy. You know, certainly it is nice to have money no matter what, but I'm here to actually help you win in sports. Let me be your sports handicapping coach. And I'm also here to help you with your nutrition. Also, these supplements I take almost every day. So take a look at these, my vitamin D. I use this collagen every day. That's good for your skin, your hair, your bones. This is good for your stomach, this MSM. These greens, if you don't get enough greens in your diet, buy this. This is a green superfood. You drop that in your drink every morning with some water, some collagen. And I like to use this turmeric. Turmeric's great. It helps your gut digestion, also good for arthritis. I was an ex-athlete, so I played a lot of sports growing up, and I know most of you guys watching me have too. The salt's very good. It's organic. It's actually mined out of Utah. You want to buy the good Himalayan salt. Good butter here. This is called ghee butter. This is grass-fed. The cows that they get it are grass-fed. It's not that cheap stuff you get at the store. So start thinking about that when you're eating. It's very important. So I'm going to go into the college basketball now. We like St. John's at 4 o'clock. They made this number 9.5. They're bumping it up a little, try and get that 9.5. They're playing Columbia. They can probably win by as many points as they want. They have a new coach this year. Mullen's gone. So they should get there, obviously a better conference, the Ivy League, to compare to the Big East. We're going to go up to Syracuse. Again, they're playing an Ivy League school, Cornell. Cornell's a couple years, but they're struggling. This year they're not doing that well. Syracuse, again, the number's a little high, but we're going to take that number because, again, it's a complete mismatch. The Big East against the Ivy League. I probably could have started at guard in any Ivy school almost. So we're going to take the Orangemen and Syracuse, lay the 19.5. We're going to go over to Vanderbilt. They're playing Austin Peay, an OVC team. Again, a smaller conference. Our theme today is to stick with the bigger conferences in the right positions. So we're going to take Vanderbilt. They're laying 7 right now. Again, they have a new coach as well and a new identity. They're off to a 2-1 start. So they're going to carry that momentum at home. They always get a good crowd. It's a tough court to play on. The bench is actually seated lower. So again, we have a lot of advantages in this game. Stay with Vanderbilt. The 7. BYU is over at Boise. We picked on Boise earlier this year with UC Cal Irvine. And so BYU's a pick 'em. They do have a new coach as well. But again, traditionally, this team, BYU's always a solid team. They're in the West Coast Conference, which no advantage there. Boy, the Mountain West pretty solid. But again, Boise seems to be getting overvalued. They've had some issues with eligibility, some of their players before the year started. And then we're going to go here into my city, UNLV. And again, I'm going to bet against UNLV. I had Cal last week against them in a close game, but we did get the money. They covered in overtime. In this situation, we have Texas State from the Sun Belt. Solid program. They're getting 5 in UNLV tonight. I might even get over to that game if I have time. Root on my Texas State boys. We need to cover the number here. And then in the last game of the night in college basketball, we're going to go to an inner-city game. Portland's at Portland State. There's a bit of a rivalry here. They're going to want a little. Last year they beat them. West Coast Conference better than the Big Sky, in our opinion. The line's 6, so you have some room there. It's going up. You can get 6.5. And we like Portland in this position. They're off to a 3-1 start. Again, that's the momentum. They're going to carry that into this game. So just to recap real quick for you, NBA take Washington plus the 2. NBA Cleveland at the Heat getting 10.5. Buy that up to 11. Magic at Toronto. They lost last year in the playoffs, getting 4. 2 of their players are out for Toronto. Hopefully we clip that number there. Detroit's at Chicago. Again, a playoff team. The Bulls are a wholesale team this year. So we're going to take the 1.5 and just in case, they'll probably win anyway. And the Jazz played recently against this Timberwolves team. We're hoping Wiggins is out, but again, I think they'll beat him even if Wiggins plays. You'll get a better number. And quickly in the college basketball, St. John's lay the 9.5. Syracuse lay the 19.5. Some of these points might have gone up. Buy them down 0.5 or a point if you can on your mobile device. And Vanderbilt's -7 at home against Austin Peay. Again, we like that position with the momentum. Vanderbilt's carrying right now with a new coach. We like BYU over there at Boise. It's a pick-em game. We're actually getting 1. Buy off that 1 to 1.5. And anytime you see +1 or -1, always buy off that number because I can tell you, 1 comes in. Sometimes you don't want to tie. You want to win that game or cover. And the last game is the inner-city Portland at Portland State. I want you to come back here every day, subscribe to my website, and when you do that, you're going to get an alert. And that alert will remind you when I have a video that comes out. Again, I cover all the games and every sport that we're betting. We bet these games that I release to you. We have invested in these games. We work on them all day, so we take that time away from you that you don't have to do. Let me be your sports handicapping coach. We'll take care of you. Please come back tomorrow or as soon as you see an alert on your subscription, and we'll help you get healthy and wealthy. Thanks for joining me. See you tomorrow.